Holly from abranchofholly.com, helping all bloggers at any stage of their journey get their next breakthrough. And speaking of getting your next breakthrough, over the past 2 months alone, the page views on my website have doubled. They've increased by over 140%, which is crazy. This is the most that my page views have grown in such a short space of time, and I'm really proud of the results that I've been able to achieve. And I truly believe that growing your blog doesn't have to be made up of you throwing lots of strategies at the wall, hoping that they're going to stick. But first of all, why is it so important to keep track of your blog growth? Well, because measuring your blog's progress allows you to see whether your current strategies are working or if they need a bit of an update. And if you know exactly what you're doing and whether that's working, you too can build a blog that gets an insane amount of traffic and engagement. And I know a lot of people say that the numbers don't matter and they're not that important, but here's another way to think about it. The more your page views increase, the more potential readers you will have, and the more potential email subscribers you will have. And if you're a blogger who runs a business on the side or even full time, then the more potential customers you will have. I know a question that a lot of bloggers ask is, how do I grow my blog? What should I focus on? Where do I start? And since I've been able to do that with my own blog over the past year, especially through a lot of trial and error, I wanted to share my knowledge and expertise with you in my top 5 effective strategies for growing your blog. So tip number 1, and I'm sure you won't be surprised by this, is self-promotion, and actually making sure that you are promoting your content much more than you think is necessary, and sharing it across all of your social platforms so you are getting the most views on each of your blog posts as possible. A lot of us have the mentality of share once and forget. So we publish a blog post on our blog, we distribute it once across our social media channels, but what happens after that? What about the people that missed that initial communication? Another little secret tip is to share your blog posts multiple times, depending on each platform, in a timely fashion. So on Twitter, for instance, I share a blog post 3 to 4 times on the day it goes live, then I'll share it the next day, the next week, the next month, and so on. So on the self-promotion tip, make sure that you're sharing your content more than once, but also make sure you're sharing it with a different message in order to capture a reader's attention. For instance, if you're sharing a blog post on Twitter and you're sharing it 3 times in one day, your first tweet could just be the headline that you used for the blog post, the second tweet could be a question, and the third tweet could be a fact or a quote that's pulled directly from the blog post itself. And remember that when you are creating social posts, always include a call to action so you're actively encouraging people to click through and read your post. Some people might find this quite spammy, but I would say it's more like you are giving your readers the value that you promised them. You are reminding them that this still matters. Tip number 2, and this is really, really important, is to optimize your blog posts in terms of SEO, as this gives your content a much better chance of being found in search engines and is a surefire way to increase your traffic. So the best thing you can do when it comes to SEO is use the right keyword, because if you're using the right keyword and someone is searching for that keyword, then they are going to be much more likely to come across your piece of content because it's going to appear at the top of page 1 on the search engine rankings. Because really, do you look at the second page of Google? Because I know I don't. The best way that you can find keywords for your blog posts is to use Google's Keyword Planner. So this is a free tool, it's easy to use, and it gives you a really good idea of what people are actually searching for and how you can use those keywords to boost your blog posts in search engines. Then once you've got your keyword, ideally you want to include it in various places throughout your blog post. So places like your URL, your headline, the alt text of your images, in at least one subheading, your introduction, and then around 5 times scattered throughout the body text of your post. Now, don't worry about remembering this right now. I've made a checklist for you that you can download in the description of this video. that has all of those checkpoints listed. What you don't want to do is include your keyword too much, as you'll be sort of cheating the system, and search engines really don't like that. Tip number 3 is to create content that readers want to share. So in order for readers to want to share your content, you're going to have to write content that is valuable to your reader. And yes, there is a massive difference between just writing a blog post and writing a blog post that is packed with value. So there are different ways that you can create content that readers want to share. The first is that you can write a blog post that solves a problem for a reader, or you can use your experience and expertise to explain something or answer a question. You want to make sure that whatever you write about is appropriate to your blog and is something that your readers want to know about. So for instance, one of the questions that I get asked the most by people in my community is, how do I grow my blog traffic? Which is exactly why I'm filming this video. The other aspect of creating content that people want to share is crafting a brilliant headline. So the purpose of your headline is to tease your readers about what they can expect from the blog post, but without giving too much away. If you create a headline that draws readers in, encourages them to click through, and then follow that up with high quality content, they'll have no other option but to share it. Tip number 4 is to create evergreen content. Now, what do I mean by evergreen content? Well, it's content that has a continued and sustained success over time. So evergreen content can generate traffic months, even years after its original published date. Apart from the odd post, I try to make sure that every single post on my blog that I create is evergreen content, because this means it will constantly generate traffic and attract new readers. So why is evergreen content so important? Well, it provides lasting value. If you optimize it for SEO, then you're giving yourself a better chance of being ranked in search engines constantly. It educates new readers. It builds your authority and establishes your expertise, and it allows you to build site continuity. So it allows you to build your site in a structured way that both readers and search engines understand. Tip number 5 is email list promotion. So your email subscribers are your most loyal readers. They have subscribed to you for a reason, so why wouldn't you tell them about your latest blog post? So there are a couple of ways that you can promote your latest blog posts to your mailing list. The first one is to grab the introduction or the first couple of paragraphs of your blog post and put it in a letter to your mailing list, and then include your link and encourage them to go onto your blog and read the rest of the post. Or the second option, which is the one that I prefer and that I use, and this works well especially if you publish quite a lot of content, is at the end of your email to your newsletter, just include the links to each of your blog posts under a heading. So it could be something like what you've missed, or here's the latest on the blog, and then people can just click through and read the blog posts that they want to read. So those are the 5 best things that I've done to increase my blog traffic that you can start working on right away too. And if you want even more help when it comes to growing your blog traffic, be sure to join the new Blogging Breakthrough community on Facebook. It's a really supportive community where bloggers come together at all stages of their journey and help each other get their next breakthrough. It's such a wonderful, positive place to be, and it's truly one of the best things I've ever created. So I really look forward to seeing you in there. Be sure to introduce yourself when you join. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share it with your friends, and I would love it if you subscribed as well. Remember to use these strategies when it comes to growing your blog traffic, and you'll get one step closer to a breakthrough. See you next time.